To be a successful entrepreneur, you have to have self-confidence to face the many challenges that you're going to encounter along your journey. There's going to be many times where you have to step out of your comfort zone and do things that are uncomfortable. If you're struggling with self-confidence, Devon and I are going to give you 5 tips that can help you build your self-confidence so that you can find success in your entrepreneurial venture.
I'll uncompromise, and I got it. Look, what does it take for you to be great? Keep it 100, bro, you know the answer. Pursuing your purpose, creating profits, building legacy. Anything less, how could you even fathom? Just sit back and imagine all that can truly happen when you pursue your passions. Yeah. So eliminate distractions and get back to the action. That's the law of attraction. You gotta build a team to build a dream. Family, faith, and focus. Counsel can only build a king. Are you prepared to reign? Cause whether you weather the weather won't change. Whether you weather the weather won't change. Stay true to the vision. Stay true to the mission. Gotta get to the finish. Take a moment to listen and come and see it through our eyes. We'll show you what it means to live uncompromised. We're uncompromised. 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 We're uncompromised. Yeah. Uncompromised. Uncompromised. We're uncompromising. Yeah. Uncompromised. We're uncompromised. We're uncompromising. Yeah. Uncompromised. Uncompromised. You're uncompromising.
Welcome to the Uncompromising Entrepreneur Podcast, presented to you by the Legacy Leadership Learning Group. Do you have an entrepreneurial spirit? Are you constantly thinking about how to create value and build new business? Maybe you're trying to find innovative ways to do business, replace some of those old ways and outdated ones. If so, man, we are here for you. This show is where we teach you what it takes to pursue your purpose, create profits, and build a legacy. I am Jimmy Gonzalez Jr., along with my co-host, Anthony Devon Watts Jr.
What's going on?
If you are a new listener or one of our loyal listeners that have been riding with us for the last year, we thank you so much. Please feel free to rate and review this podcast. And if you're watching on the YouTube channel, we'd love for you to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and then make sure that you share this with another entrepreneur that you know would be able to benefit from this content. Especially as in a minute, we're going to get into 5 ways that you can build your self-confidence for business success. But before we do that, I want to take an opportunity just to ask my man, how you doing today, Devon?
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. It's between taking care of what we got to take care of, right, in preparation for the alpha test, right, for our Uncompromising Entrepreneurship coaching group, and getting all of those things finalized before we get going here in August for our 90-day program of From Purpose to Profits. I've also been responding to people who have been going crazy, for lack of a better word, because the first episode of season 3 has officially dropped and hit people's ears, and they are just being hit over the head with wave of changes to the name, changes to the podcast cover. We dropped one of the first photos from the photo shoot that we did in preparation for building for season 3, and then also the coaching business. Shout out to Lunadora Photography, for the work that they did. Super professional, super timely. The shots were fantastic. I was joking with one of my friends, man, one of my homeboys, because I said, man, you can tell when your friends are really rocking with you, right? When they make it a point to just like kind of slide in your DMs, and the first thing they lead with is a joke, it's hate, right? So for those who haven't, if you haven't seen already, make sure that you check out the new podcast cover for the Uncompromising Entrepreneur Podcast with Jimmy and myself. And if you look at that, you'll see we definitely have a different look, a different feel, different vibe. One of my homeboys hit me out. He's like, man, y'all look like, this look like a movie promo for Think Like a Man 3. And he was just cracking up laughing, man. Like,
Now, I did have somebody comment on my Instagram page that it looked like a movie cover. They were very sincere. At least that's how I felt about it. They weren't trying to clown us.
no. It was love. You know how it is with
sure,
your friends when the joke is really just all drenched in love. But yeah, I was cracking up laughing. I was like, man, you're a nut. And he's just like, no, seriously, man. Like, I'm super proud of you guys and supportive, and like y'all are doing some big things. Just got a lot of love on that. Also, interesting enough, too, because we've done such a good job over these past couple of years of just kind of really solidifying and building out the former podcast and its brand. For folks that may have been on the periphery, not really paying attention, this was like really the big official announcement of this is different, right? We are no longer the Legacy and Leadership Podcast. It is now the Uncompromising Entrepreneur Podcast. It's a new look, a new feel, a new focus, a new purpose, right? And all of these things started to change. And I actually had somebody reach out and ask, like, man, like, y'all aren't like nervous about the change in the brand? Like, you know, you built out such a strong brand with the last pod, and then now, you know, it's a different name and a different feeling, a different look, and the whole nine. Like, are you worried that you're like starting off from ground zero and starting all over again? So I thought that would be a good topic maybe to touch on just a little bit about how you feel about that, about how I feel about that for the audience, because we may have, you know, some of our folks out there listening that have a similar question. Like, hey, man, I'm rocking with you guys, and I definitely understand. I listened to the big announcement, so I know the why, right? I know the why, and I get it, and I feel it. But as an entrepreneur, as business owners, as content creators, like, there wasn't even like a little iota of doubt there between you and Jimmy. So before I get my answer, Jimmy, what would you like to give your perspective on that? Was there a little iota of doubt or concern?
The quick and short answer is no. There wasn't. Well, let me not say that. There was a little bit of doubt or questioning. You know, if not about the vision, not about the purpose, not about, you know, how we were evolving, but again, specifically with the podcast itself. But that little bit of questioning and doubt led me to learn more, right? And to kind of seek guidance and speak to a coach, which all of this conversation really helped to kind of spawn, you know, what we're going to be discussing and what we're going to be focusing on in this episode, again, which is 5 ways that you can really help to build self-confidence for your business success as an entrepreneur. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, like, you have to have self-confidence. There's going to be so many challenges that you face, that you're going to encounter along your journey. You might find your purpose starting to evolve or become that much clearer, and it may take you on a slightly different direction than the one that you were on. There's going to be a lot of times where you're going to have to also step out of your comfort zone and get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'll say that again. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? And put yourself in what we call that stretch zone, where you're learning more, you're doing different things that are stretching your capabilities, your skill set, your knowledge base. But as you stretch yourself and you continue to learn more and improve, you'll over time find yourself back in a spot where you're comfortable now with that new information, those new skills, whatever that stuff may be. But if you're struggling with self-confidence, again, we're going to break down really 5 ways that will help you to build that confidence up. That's going to give you success. So I'd say the first tip that we're going to provide, and this is what really helped me to solidify and really get rid of that little bit of doubt that was there, was I went and spoke to a professional. I reached out to a coach. Shout out to Luis Diaz, who is a podcasting coach. He helps people who have podcasts, who are trying to start a podcast, and sat there and broke down to him our vision, our purpose, you know, the things that we're trying to accomplish. I gave him kind of the quick rundown of the evolution and how we got to this particular point. And he was very excited and very confident that no, we were headed in the right direction. So talking to somebody who is an expert in this field, getting coaching, getting that advice, again, gave me that confidence, like, no, like we're doing the right thing. And obviously after that, that consultation, I went back and spoke to you about it. And it really solidified what we were doing was the right direction. It was the right thing to do. And also the fact that, 12 months is significant. A year is significant. But we know that we're in this for the long haul, and there's so much, God willing, right? There's so much more ahead of us that if it was going to evolve to the point where we made a switch like we have, I think now is definitely the time to do it. So all of those things, again, provided me the confidence that, man, we're doing the right thing.
Yeah. So kind of like you, I had a similar feeling, obviously, because, for us, it's important as business partners that we're on the same page whenever we're executing on any move or strategy, right? So we obviously were both in the same place when it came to the decision to change the name of the podcast and refine the focus and make sure that the podcast reflected the coaching business, which is our core business, the core business that we're really in and building. And the podcast is an extension of that, a way to connect with other entrepreneurs out there who may need some coaching or may not be aware that they need some coaching. And so this is an opportunity for you to get a little sprinkle of what it's like to be able to hear directly from coaches and work with coaches. So that hopefully it gives you the confidence to seek out help as a part of learning more, right? So again, like you, my sentiment was, did I feel any nervousness about it? Hell no. Right. I think there's a certain level of confidence that comes as an entrepreneur, as a creator, when you understand that we have a track record of creating something from a blank sheet of paper and building it. Right. And so when you know you can take a blank canvas and, with the stroke of your brush, turn that from something that has no value to something that becomes invaluable, that builds a lot of confidence in your ability to do that again with every single blank canvas that you see, right? Now, obviously, you don't go at it haphazardly, right? We didn't just on a whim make this decision. It took a lot of focused work and effort with us, strategy sessions, syncing up, again, me making the drive up to Orlando, late nights in the living room, sipping on something, watching boxing, talking about the business and talking about strategy in order to ultimately get to this point. But there's a certain level of confidence that comes from being able to do the work, right? And learning. And we were learning together, and we were learning not just, about the content creation space, right? But also learning about branding, learning about, communicating and shifting your brand, how to make sure that you're identifying and speaking to your right tribe, reaching out for additional guidance. So all of those things helped to build confidence, as we were going through this process. And I think you said it perfectly, right? And it kind of touches on something that I mentioned in the last podcast, which was, you got to do the work in the beginning to create the foundation that you're going to be able to build on and scale on long term, right? There's no point in continuing going down that other path of building out this brand affinity, right, with the last podcast name. If we know at some point we need to make sure that the podcast aligns with the core business, the core coaching business, right? If we continue to just kind of turn a blind eye and keep the podcast as it was while we were working on the coaching business, right, there was never going to be a good time to transition, right? Because if the audience continues to grow and the subscribers continue to grow, I mean, hell, you and I were looking at analytics before we hopped on here, right? Our voice has been heard in every single state in the United States with the exception of 2, Alaska and Wyoming. I don't know what y'all got going on. Stop hunting and start playing some podcasts and listen to us, right? And a litany of countries all over the world, right? Well, that number is only going to grow as we continue to refine our craft and expand our audience. So if we're not willing to make that jump, when we have 500 dedicated subscribers to the podcast and just closing in on 8,000-9,000 downloads. Are we going to be willing to make that jump when we have 1,000 subscribers and, 20,000 downloads or 50,000, right? Like, it was never going to be a good time the longer you wait, right? So you have to be able to confidently say, all right, what foundation are we building on to be able to scale long term? And is the decision that we're making today going to be one that's going to pay dividends for us, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the road, right? Because we are in this for the long haul. While we are very, very thankful and excited and elated that we hit the 1 year mark, we also know in the business world and in the content creation game, like 12 months is baby stuff. Like, it's infancy, right? Like, the amount of growth we've had over the 12 months, right, can tell you that, right? So I feel very, very affirmed the decision that we decided to make. And honestly, for me, that's only possible through learning, right? Through our commitment to keep learning. And so if there's anything that our entrepreneurs out there are listening to us, and maybe you're kicking around the same idea of, hey, maybe I need to go through a brand transition, or how do I pivot, right? How do I get into a different space? I was selling this, but, I really have a feeling like, based off of the data, based off my understanding, based off of the work I did to find my purpose and find the intersection of my passion and my skill, that I need to stop pursuing X and go after Y, because that's where my business is going to be able to scale. But I'm afraid to make that leap and that change. Start with doing the work of continuing to learn. That means not just using YouTube University and whatever else is out there, but also, right, check for courses, check for seminars, get with a coach, right? Get with an expert in the field, right? So that would be, kind of the first place to start when you're talking about building your self-confidence, and especially when it comes to, making a big change in your business like that.
Definitely. So step number one is to keep learning. And we've said plenty of times, right? Leaders are readers. I was reading the book, which we talked about in the last episode, really quick, The Dip, which talks about knowing when to quit. That was one of the tips that we provided last week as well, is knowing and being okay with quitting. Did we quit like the podcast? No, but we quit that concept, and we knew that was the right thing for us to do. So learning by reading, learning by getting a coach, are all things that you should be doing and steps that you can take to help that learning process. And just to circle back, because I don't believe that we've kind of made the announcement to our listeners and our viewers out there, we are going to be doing what we call our alpha test, as Devon mentioned at the beginning of the show. That's going to be starting in August. So if you're listening, if you're watching, we have 2 spots left. And if you are a man, specifically for our minority males out there who maybe you've just started your business, you're looking to start a business, you have an idea, and you're trying to learn more and you need help, this is an opportunity for you. You can reach us and DM us if you like at Legacy Leadership, which is our Instagram handle. You can also email us at legacyandleadership@gmail.com, or you can even just leave a comment within the podcast or on the YouTube channel. Reach out to us that way, and we'll definitely get back with you. But anyway, we got 2 spots left. We'll give you all of the details. This is actually going to be at no cost to these 4 individuals that are going to be going through this 90-day journey with us, from purpose to profit, as we lay out the blueprint on how to take you from step A, all the way through to step Z again, from purpose to profit. So if that is something of interest to you, hit us up. Gave you a number of ways that you would be able to do that. So 5 ways to help build self-confidence for business success as an entrepreneur. Number 1 is keep learning. Number 2, which we've kind of talked about this a little bit, is have a clear vision. We're not really short on confidence. That's, I think, just part of our personality. No. Really, us? But I think, when it comes to the 2 of us together, though, it's also our history, our relationship, all the experiences that we've had together that also provides that confidence. But as our vision continued to evolve and become clearer, it gave us more confidence. Actually, I think we were probably even more excited and had even more confidence, because we knew, man, like we know exactly who we're talking to. We know exactly who we want to be able to help. We know exactly who this message is for. And that gives us the confidence that we have a concise vision that aligns with our goals, it aligns with our beliefs and our values and the things that we're trying to accomplish. And when you take those steps and you have that clear vision, again, it's just going to give you the confidence that you need. So going back to the alpha test, if that is something that you're still unsure of, if you have some ideas, but you don't really know if they're concrete, if the vision is still a little foggy and not clear for you right now, those are things that we're going to be able to assist you with through that program itself.
Yeah, so I know our listeners are definitely, if you've been rocking with us for any length of time, you've heard me mention this before, just a personal mantra of mine. I am an adamant believer in, living in the vision, not in the circumstances. It's essential as an entrepreneur, as a leader, in order to, see through your vision to execution, right? And the only way you can truly live in that vision is to have clarity in your vision. And you and I have spent an inordinate amount of hours and hours and hours just doing that, like refining the vision and checking and double checking and triple checking and doing touch bases and touching in around that, because we know that we have to have clarity in the destination in order to be able to order our steps from an execution perspective, right? And so that's just so critically important, right? And I love the fact that you were talking about how important it is, like when you have the clarity in your vision, right, from an execution perspective, how important it is to just not just receive coaching, right, coaching and feedback and get validation, right, but to be able to stop and measure up against that vision, because I really think that that's where a lot of folks run into issues as entrepreneurs, right? Like you said, what got us excited is as we continue to check up against our vision, we started to refine it more. And then we knew exactly who we were speaking to. And when you think about it as an entrepreneur, right, you're a teacher, you're either a teacher or a problem solver, right? You're either a teacher or a problem solver. And most times it's both, right? You're a combination of both. Well, when you think about it, the most powerful thing that you can have clarity on as a teacher or as a problem solver is clarity in who the student is and clarity in what the problem is, right? Clarity in who the student is and clarity in what the problem is. I don't know about y'all, man. Ain't nothing more frustrating, as a father. And if you don't have kids, that's fine. I know you can relate to this, because before I had boys, right, I had, significant others, right? And, the things that are the most frustrating is when you're trying to meet the needs or communicate with somebody and you have no clarity on what the issue is, right? I'm talking to my boys, and, Lennox, he'll get into these fits from time to time where he won't use his words to tell me what he needs. I can tell he's dissatisfied. He's, right? All right, what do you want, Papa? Like, what do you want? Like, tell me, my man. Like, and he'll just point at something. All right, well, what's that? Is that? No. All right, is it this? No. Is it this? No. About the third, no. I'm frustrated, right? I'm frustrated. Like, bro, I don't even know what to do because I don't have clarity in what the issue is.
Yeah.
Right? I don't have clarity in what the issue is, and so I just feel like I'm running around the house expending calories, wasting time. Same with the missus, right? We've all had that conversation before. Hey, what do you want to eat? Oh, I don't know what I want to eat. Right? All right, you want to eat at this place? No, I don't want to eat there. All right, what about this place? Oh, no, I don't want that. All right, what about this place? All right, no, I don't want that. Well, what do you want to eat? Well, I don't care. And the frustration that comes with that, right? The frustration that comes with that. So that's why having clarity in the vision is so important, right? Because when we talk about clarity in the vision, it's not just what you're attempting to execute. Because I think a lot of us at times, we focus on that component, right? Mm-hmm. Of like, all right, that part of the vision is, what I want to accomplish. And that's an important component. But also a part of the vision is clarity in who am I serving? What am I serving? What is my purpose, right? And for us, the strength and the confidence got magnified, amplified, multiplied when we were able to answer those last two questions, because we already had clarity around what we wanted to accomplish, right? But we needed to have clarity around, well, who are we speaking to? Who are we serving? right? And once we checked those two boxes, the confidence went through the roof, and we didn't even once we made that decision, we didn't even second guess, think twice, look back about any of the decisions we were making to change branding, change name, all of those things, refine our go-to-market strategy. We never questioned it again.
Yeah.
Because we had the confidence of those first two things, right? We were learning in the process, and then we also had clarity in the vision. So, again, for entrepreneurs out there that are listening, if you're struggling with the self-confidence, from that perspective, specifically with your business, we would challenge you on just that component of your vision, right? You probably have clarity in what you want to accomplish, but do you have clarity in who you are serving and what the problem is that you're trying to solve? Because that's a part of the vision too. And if that's undefined, you're not gonna have the level of confidence that you really need to have in order to go full force at kind of growing, scaling, changing, transforming your business.
Yeah, when we speak about having that concise vision, it's really being concise about what your goals are and the why behind that. And I think that was also something that I think from a macro perspective, we knew why we were doing the things that we were doing. But again, all of that we were able to refine that, and it put us on a much more clear vision and path. And I think about the coaching client that I'm working with right now for our Goal Getter Success Program, and the first couple of sessions, that's exactly what we were talking about, and having him go through activities that refined specific questions to determine what is your, making sure that your reason is big enough, right? Which gets to the why. Why do you have these goals? Why are you trying to accomplish these things? And continuing to ask that why question until it becomes that much more clear for the individual. And as we continue to go through that process, again, I can just see it as we're having conversations. The confidence continues to build. And as a coach, man, that's what you want to see. And it just makes you happy to see the people that you're working with continue to progress in that way. So if you have a broad goal, right, or it's my vision, I just want to make money. How much money do you want to make?
Money?
Yeah. So you have to establish what are these measurable objectives, and then why? Why do you want to make money? Well, because I have a family. All right. Well, why do you want to make money for your family? Right. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but continuing to ask those questions to really get to the root of the big reason, the why that you're looking to do what you're looking to do. And when you do that, again, it just becomes that much more clear and that much more easier. Not easy, but it does become easier because you're confident, the adrenaline is flowing. You wake up every morning excited to continue to take steps forward because you know that you're moving in a very positive direction.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say about it too, man, before we transition to the kind of the next tip of being able to build self-confidence here, and you touched on this, right, is when you understand what your why is and you have that clarity and that refined vision, where the real power comes from is not in having that insight on your vision and your why so that you know what to do, but having clarity in what you don't need to do. Right? That's where the strength in it comes from. Because a lot of times as an entrepreneur, everything, if you don't have clarity in your why and your vision and kind of who you're serving and your purpose, everything is an opportunity to make money. And so if my goal is just, hey, I'm trying to generate money for my family, right? Then everything looks like a good opportunity to start to pursue. All right, man, so how am I going to do that? Right? Oh, man, this opportunity just came up to, get into crypto. All right, maybe I need to do that. Oh, this is an opportunity to start doing drop ship selling. Oh, maybe I should do that. Oh, I just saw a certificate that was offering real estate license classes, right, at a reduced rate now. Now it's $49. Oh, maybe I should do that. All right, no, or maybe I shouldn't sell real estate. Maybe I got to, be a broker, or maybe I should do that. Or maybe I should do vending machines. And then you just get inundated with all of these opportunities to make money, right? That it's almost you're paralyzed because you don't know what to do, right? You don't know what to do, or you're trying to do all of it and you're not making any substantial inroads in any of it, right? But when you have clarity of vision, clarity of purpose, it's very easy then to say, that's a great opportunity, but it doesn't align with my vision. I don't need to do that. And then that's where the strength comes in, is in the assuredness of being able to identify, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. That doesn't align with what my purpose is. That doesn't align with the defined goal. That doesn't align with the vision. And while they may all be viable opportunities to generate revenue, right, they're going to be fruitless endeavors and a waste of my energy because it doesn't align with my purpose. And so that's where the strength really comes from. Because trust me, again, you guys have heard us talk about it a little bit with our own journey as entrepreneurs, man. In prior entrepreneurial endeavors, we've gotten paralyzed by that very fact of, man, there's so much things that we can get into. And even now, as we continue to grow our business, we get approached about opportunities that if we didn't have clarity in our vision, our purpose, who we're serving, and our why, we would expend calories pursuing, and it would get us further away from fulfilling our purpose, right? And so we're able to kindly turn down those opportunities, respectfully turn down those opportunities, but from a position of confidence and strength, because we know what the purpose is. And so we want to help you as entrepreneurs get to that point where you know what your purpose is, because you need to know your purpose in order to get to truly creating the profits.
Man, we potting now. Those nuggets are dropping. I hope y'all picking them up. Just because you're doing something right doesn't mean that you're doing the right thing. And I'll just say that to wrap up everything that Devon just said, because you're just 100% on point. So 5 easy ways that you can build self-confidence for business success as an entrepreneur. We talked about keep learning, right? Make sure that you keep learning and building upon that knowledge base, have a clear vision. And then number 3, kind of simple, but not really, right? It's just be optimistic. Be optimistic. Negativity will quickly drain your motivation. It'll drag you down. I know it happens to all of us, right? We're human. It's important to wake up in the morning and go through self-affirmations, have those positive mantras that you remind yourself about when you first wake up in the morning, before you go to bed at night. Think about 3 things, man, that I pray and just thank God that I was able to be able to experience, those 3 things during that day, or just 3 things that I'm thankful for, but doing things that are going to continuously help me to remain optimistic. When you surround yourself with positive thoughts, positive energy, and then positive people, man, it does so much to uplift your spirits, to continue to give you that confidence. And when you are down, you have other people around you that you can feed off of some of that positive energy. And again, they're going to lift you up, and then you'll have a chance to pay it forward at some point, right? They're not always going to be 100%. They'll be down, and now you're going to have that energy to lift them up. And, that whole vibe and that energy would just be reciprocal as you go through that process.
Yeah, I mean, we've always felt like entrepreneurs, creators, right? Because entrepreneurs are creators. Mm-hmm. You are a creator. You are creating something from nothing. You're executing on a vision. You are building a business. And if you're doing it right, you're building a legacy. Entrepreneurs truly are, to us, like superheroes. We have a superpower when it comes to clarity of vision, clarity of purpose, connecting with people, relationship building, ingenuity, creativity, thinking of new solutions, all that stuff, right? So I share that because I think about how in every single superhero movie I've ever seen in my life, from the time I was a jit till now, right, when they inevitably come up against the big bad and it looks like they are on the ropes, there are that core group of heroes who hold out hope, right? That they're optimistic that we're going to figure out how to take them down. And inevitably they do, right? And I think it's intentional that, that's the story you see repeated, in every version of superheroes, whether you're looking at, how we look at superheroes today, or if you look at ancient historical mythology and how that is actually like kind of the original superheroes. I'm not trying to get into too much of nerdy stuff with you guys, but because that is my bag. But when you look at that, there's a reason why we have those character arcs, those story arcs, mm-hmm. right? And it is because we know as a part of our human nature, it's those that hold out that are the most relentless, the most uncompromising when it comes to their optimism, their positive thought, still committing to doing the work, right? Because these heroes aren't just sitting on a couch saying, like, this will all work out, and they're not going to fight the big bad, right? They're putting in the work, right, to put up the fight, right, while still being armed with the optimism. But we know that it's those individuals that are the ones that are the most successful. Every single entrepreneur, every single person we hold up as a gold standard of success can go back and tell you the story about how it was darkest before the dawn, and it was only this glimmer of light of hope and optimism that they held on to when everybody else, their family, their friends, maybe their original business partners, was telling them not let it go, right? And if they had decided to quit at any point prior to when things popped off, we wouldn't have the stories that we have. And so the optimism is just so critically important. I'm here to tell you guys, man, there's going to be more than enough individuals out there that are going to try and, pepper your dreams, right, with seeds of negativity. And that is one of that's one of the areas where you're gonna have to guard. At times, and we talk about discernment, you're gonna really have to guard against it from your mental perspective, and also just like kind of guarding what you're building, right? Like we talk about treating your business, treating your ideas like your baby, and that concept never resonated with me as powerfully as it does until for me, I became a father, and then you just start realizing like hell yeah, like I'm watching like when people come around Lennox when he was first born. All right, hey, back. What he don't need his cheeks touched. Like, nah, you wash your hands. You ain't wash your hands. Like, because you're thinking about guarding that baby and how fragile he is, right? How fragile that baby is, and how the wrong person, the wrong energy, the wrong whatever, right, could put that at jeopardy, and you don't want that to happen. So you have to take that same approach when it comes to your business. And it's sobering, but it's a reality, right? Is that not everybody that's in the stands, right? Not everybody in the stands is rooting for you to win the game. You know what I mean? Like you and I, we learned that very early on in Pop Warner. Right? There's playing football as kids. Half of the stands is rocking with you. The other half ain't. Right? And when you score, it's guaranteed that half of the people are going to be pissed about it and the other people are going to be elated. And when you fail, there are going to be people that celebrate the failure, just like there's going to be people that mourn that failure, right? And so you have to go into this open-eyed, clear-eyed about that, and then just being able to guard it, and more importantly, not allowing those, again, circumstances to influence your vision and how optimistic you are about what you're building. And that optimism is not blind optimism. It comes from a commitment to doing the work and the other things that we've shared as far as building self-confidence when it comes to continuing to learn, right? Clarity in your vision, those type of things.
Yeah, definitely. Again, thirdly, being optimistic. And it's important, like I said earlier, to really surround yourself with positive influences, especially when you're feeling unmotivated, right? Being around a group of people that are going to help to push you, to help keep you on track. For our men out there, if you are not a part of our Facebook group, again, this is just a call to action. I'm using the words, call to action. I want you to take action and actually go open up your browser, go to Facebook and join us there. It is the Uncompromising Entrepreneurs, plural, because we want you and all other men out there, again, that need that positivity, that want to be around like-minded individuals. And again, it's okay, because every once in a while we do fall short, and it helps, right, when we have somebody else or a group of individuals, specifically other men that are getting after similar goals and visions to help keep each other motivated. So check us out. We definitely know that you will not be disappointed by joining us in that particular group. I meant to ask you before we started recording, did you check out the latest episode of Loki?
Yeah, I did.
As you're talking about the superheroes, I'm not going to give no spoiler alert or anything like that, or spoil if you watch those type of shows and if you haven't seen it already. But when you were talking about, that glimmer of hope, there was a particular scene where he's trying to provide hope right, to the other group of would-be heroes, and it was just funny. Like I'm seeing that vision in my mind as you were kind of going through and talking about it. So great episode for any of the Loki and Marvel fans out there. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Very, very good, and it fits exactly what Devon was just talking about: being optimistic, especially in the face of trouble and kind of in those darkest days. The other thing that, to kind of get to the next point, right, was the other person, Sylvie, that just did not have any doubts about, again, without giving spoilers, in what she felt needed
the execution.
The execution, right?
Yeah.
So that's our fourth tip for you, is get rid of the doubt, right? We talked about earlier, getting a coach, speaking with experts, continuing to learn. All of those things help you to get rid of doubt. But if you're afraid of moving forward, despite believing like, man, I really have a great idea, like I know that somehow, some way this is going to take off, take it step by step. Continue to do your due diligence. Continue to ensure that that idea is concrete, that it's laid out. Again, speak with a coach, get a consultation. If you need to talk through some things and literally work through activities and steps, they're going to help you solidify that idea to ensure that you know this is a great idea. I have no doubt about the direction that I'm going. And then stop listening to that self-talk, that negative self-talk, right? And just have faith. Have faith that you're going to overcome the challenges. Have faith in the one that has given you that purpose in your heart and in your spirit. And then go after your goals. Go after and chase them. Be uncompromising in that pursuit of those goals as you get rid of that doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, man. It's crazy, like how you're calling out some of the things that have transpired so far in Loki, and how it really does tie into these things that we're talking about, even down to being burdened with glorious purpose.
Yes.
Right? Burdened with glorious purpose. And
it's so funny how I'm watching the show and I'm listening to those statements and I'm thinking about our podcast and the conversations we've been having. It's so funny, bro.
Okay. All right. Well, you got the creative juices flowing too, man. So y'all don't be surprised. While you're listening to this, now you see how the podcast cover became what the podcast cover became off of this.
Glorious purpose.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like, why it's so important to be able to remove that self-doubt. Sometimes that's the biggest obstacle that we truly have to overcome. Like, and it's crazy, bro. Like you even see, I even see it with, manifested, in the boys, right? And I'm thinking about like, man. So, Mrs. Admittedly, like I am the dad, like I'm a dad, right? What I mean by that is whatever stereotype you believe to be associated with a dad, and how they are encouraging and, almost supportive of their kids taking calculated risk, right? Because we don't want them to be scary and stuff like that, right? And we want them to, again, build their confidence in the whole nine. I am that, right? Which means that my son, our youngest, Lennox, has created a habit of feeling very comfortable climbing up on the coffee table, commanding attention, yelling to that, and then just randomly, no matter what dad's doing, whether I'm eating, whether I'm watching TV, whether I'm in my phone, just trusting that dad's going to catch me when I jump from this coffee table into my dad's arm, because that's where I want to be, and this is fun to me, right? But what's funny is, for the very first time that he got up on that coffee table, I remember him kind of tiptoeing, like he wanted to make that jump from the coffee table to the sofa, right? And I could just see him kind of like playing with it, like sizing it up, like kind of that half stutter step, and measuring, can I make it, can I not? And that doubt existed, right? That doubt existed, and sure enough, he jumped with that doubt and fell short of the couch. Now, fortunately, he didn't hit his head, nothing like that. What happened was he ended up, like, his stomach ended up hitting the edge of the couch. He bounced off the couch. Bounced off the couch, fell on his butt. His diaper, took care of him on the whole nine, right? And he was just kind of like, oh man, I can't make this. And dad being dad, like, nah, bruh. Like, that's not the end of the story. You gonna make this jump now. Like, this is what you want to do. This is what you want to do for fun. We gonna do this. So I'm putting you right back up on the coffee table, right? And I'm telling you, and I'm sitting there coaching you through it, right? Come on, I'm here. Come on, right here. Like, right. So now I position myself on the couch, and I position myself at the back of the couch, right? And so now I don't want you to focus on the gap between the coffee table and the sofa. I just want you to focus on getting to my arms, because in his mind, my arms are safe. My arms are like he knows, all right, there's no chance my dad's gonna drop me. Right? I have zero doubts that when I make this jump, I'm gonna be caught. All right. And it was through that elimination of doubt that when he jumped, he landed in like the middle of the sofa. Like he landed like in the middle of the sofa, like basically in my arms. Right. I was always all the way at the back of the sofa. Right. Same distance, same scenario, same little, 1.5, almost 2-year-old, thighs and, big head. We had him in for his checkup, and he's in the 87th percentile in terms of height, but he's in like the 95th percentile in terms of head size. I told the doctor, I was like, yeah, I said, that's my fault, man. It's going to be like that for a while. He's going to grow into it though. Like you look at me, he's going to grow into it.
But he got a big head. It's all good.
Yeah, he got a big head, but it's all good. But he's going to grow into it. Right. But even with the same circumstances, but now doubts eliminated, and he didn't even come close to failing. Right. And so that exists with us every single day. Honestly, sometimes when you're making that leap of faith as an entrepreneur, when you're pursuing something, the only weight that's preventing you from clearing it, like by leaps and bounds, is the weight of your own self-doubt and apprehension about your ability to succeed. Mm-hmm. And you have to free yourself of those shackles. The minute you eliminate that, that is the only thing that can prevent you from, from soaring. Right. And so the elimination of that self-doubt, man, is just so critically important. And we understand that at times it feels like it's easier said than done. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's why, you keep hearing us talk about and bring up and pepper in these call outs about seeking out coaching. Right. And it's not out of a selfish interest by any stretch of the imagination. For our listeners out there, let us be clear. We want to make sure, we feel very confident in our ability to serve any entrepreneur out there that has a need for coaching, support, encouragement, guidance on strategy, process, refinement, purpose, all of that. But if for whatever reason we can't fit your needs and you feel like you need to get somebody else, we encourage you to go out and get coaching, even if it's not with us, because it's that critically important. Think about it this way. And I'll get off my soapbox here just a little bit, but think about it this way. The folks that we idolize on our TV screens, that we hold up as the greatest of all time, when you're talking about Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, you're talking about LeBron James. We'll use LeBron for example, right? LeBron James, right? This is a man who by every measurement has the physical tools, skills, passion, right? He's fulfilling his purpose. His passion is basketball. He has the skill set, right? Where passion and skill intersect, his purpose. He's doing that. This is a man who, at any given point when he steps out on the court, he is probably one of the most athletic, probably the most athletic individual on the court, the most knowledgeable and savvy about the game, right? The most experienced, right? He is, in his, 16th year or something like that of playing in the league, right? And this is a man who invests over $1 million a year in coaching on his mindset and his body, right? Because he understands the value of receiving that type of coaching support, right? So this is not a foreign concept. And if you ever heard, for all of those folks out there that have a sports team that you follow, if you heard that your favorite athlete on your favorite team didn't show up to practice, didn't show up to get coaching, right? Like he was your first round draft pick and you find out your first round draft pick is not showing up in the weight room, not showing up at film study, not getting coaching, not working in the off season. How are you going to feel about that? You're going to say, man, what an idiot. What is this guy doing? He doesn't want it bad enough. Like what is it? Everybody knows how important coaching is, right? We would have that conversation. Yet we as entrepreneurs turn right around and we do exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
We declare for the league, right? We have all the talent in the world to be successful, right? And we don't show up for film study. We don't get coaching. We don't get outside perspective. We don't get perspective from folks that have been in the game and seen things, right? And we think that that's just normal and grinding it out. And I'm here to tell you it's wrong. It's not. Right. So you got to get coaching, and that coaching, the right coaching, is going to be able to help you navigate eliminating that self-doubt. That could be the one component that's preventing you from going from your purpose to your profits, is that self-doubt that's acting as that shackle. So, man, it's just so important, bro.
Facts. Yeah. So move away from that fear that's preventing you from moving forward, and just find a success that you desire. Eliminate that doubt and get past it. So those are 4 easy ways. Number 5 that we have for you, right? 5 easy ways that you can build self-confidence to find business success as an entrepreneur. The 5th and last one is celebrate even your smallest accomplishments. We admittedly, even on the last podcast, if you didn't stick around to the end, go back, listen to the whole thing, because at the end of the podcast, we realized that we forgot to mention and to celebrate the fact that we hit our year anniversary of doing our podcast, which is a very big milestone. But it's also the small accomplishments, the small things in life, the small things that you're accomplishing that are going to get you one step closer to obtaining your ultimate goal. Celebrate those things. Celebrate the wins. Maybe it's your first sale, right? It's the first time that you're able to solidify getting your product sold. It's your first sale online. You're having a conversation and you solidify that first client. Whatever that is, you sold your first house if you're a realtor. You get that first contract to go in and provide some type of home improvement service, to a family, to an individual. All of those firsts are things that you should be celebrating. And when you successfully overcome any challenges that you have, you should definitely be celebrating that. Don't take those things lightly. Again, even the smallest of accomplishments, make sure that you celebrate those. It's those little victories that you experience that will serve as a reminder of how talented you are and the fact that you can reach your goals, that you can have success as an entrepreneur. So no matter how big, no matter how small, continue to celebrate all of your accomplishments.
Yeah, those small wins, right, build momentum. Small wins build momentum, and momentum is what builds confidence, and confidence is what builds success, right? So I definitely don't have a long, drawn out thoughts around this. I just sit with the lesson, like, yep, we got to continue to do better, because it definitely is something that I would say is an opportunity for us personally with our business. I think that's kind of the funny thing about it, right? Is we're able to identify and help other folks realize, like, hey, this is a win. You need to like cash that, deposit that, like, don't overlook that. We can do that with other individuals and help them see it. And I think that's obviously the coach in us, being able to see, like, man, finally, like, while while he didn't get the block perfectly right, like, his footwork was right. Like, we finally got the footwork right, and the footwork is an important component to putting the whole piece together, right, and being able to celebrate that. So we can definitely do that for others. We just don't really do a good job about executing ourselves, but it's an area that we definitely got to get better, and we will get better, and we continue to hold ourselves accountable too. So I don't have a long, drawn out comment on it. Just like, I got to sit with that, got to hold that one. Got to make sure that it's a good reminder that, yep, continue to get better in this space.
So there you have it. 5 reminders, 5 easy ways that you can build self-confidence for business success as an entrepreneur. There's going to be a lot of other things that will assist you on your path to, again, building your self-confidence. But ultimately, whether you have a coach, whether you're listening to our podcast, watching the vidcast, talking with other people that will provide you tips, it's going to be up to you. It's ultimately up to you to take the information and to start applying it and put it into action. But if you follow the advice that we gave you and, again, put it into action, it will help guide you toward what you need to improve overall in your business and to prove to yourself that you could actually succeed as an entrepreneur. So we want to provide you tactics. We want to provide you strategy. We want to provide you mindset, and also some inspiration that you really can do this. There's going to be challenges. It's not always going to be hard either. Don't fall for that lie that, oh, being an entrepreneur is so difficult and so hard. There's challenges. It's not easy, but it doesn't mean that every step that you take is going to be some monumental war or challenge that you have to go through in order to start a business, to keep that business, and to scale it long term so that you build a legacy. So definitely remember that as you think about, again, these 5 tips that we just provided you. As we continue to move forward, this was episode 51. Please be on the lookout for episode 52, which we're going to break down 3 powerful ways that you can develop your grit as an entrepreneur. All right. So again, we're going to continue to help you with some mindset challenges, some mindset tips that are going to be able to help you. So be on the lookout for that next episode, because we're going to break those 3 quick things down for you. To all of our uncompromising entrepreneurs, again, we thank you for listening. We appreciate it if you continue to show us some love by liking the episode, leaving us a review on whatever major podcast platform that you are listening to us to. If you want to reach out to us, one of the best ways to do that, again, is to connect with us specifically for our men out there that want to be a part of the Uncompromising Entrepreneurs group. Go to Facebook. Go ahead and elect to be a part of that group, and we will go ahead and get you in there. And again, you can ask questions and be a part of that community as we continue to build that out. Also, follow us on LinkedIn, on Facebook. We do have a Facebook page, and of course, our YouTube channel, the Uncompromising Entrepreneur Podcast. That is the name for all 3 of those platforms. You can find us there. Follow us, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We definitely appreciate that. Again, it costs you nothing but a little bit of time, maybe 30 seconds at the most, to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But we would love, again, for you to leave us a review on the podcast. That definitely goes a long way to helping us to reach more people. And if you really, really dig in the content, man, share it. Sharing is caring. Share it with another individual, another entrepreneur that you know would be able to benefit from this content. And celebrate the wins, celebrate what's going on in your life, because it is all good. Man, we appreciate you guys so much. Again, we've had fun. Hopefully that you've had fun rocking with us on this particular episode as we broke down these 5 easy ways. Until next time, God bless and stay encouraged, y'all. You have just listened to the Uncompromising Entrepreneur Podcast, hosted by Jimmy Gonzalez and Devon Watts. Thank you, and we hope that you pursue your passion, create profits, and build a legacy. Until next time, y'all.